welcome to the Railjack Ruffians podcast. Please like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. And remember, Tenno, a breath a day keeps the heck away.
To all of you who have been waiting for our next episode, my apologies, their apologies, we all apologize. I don't like that. I'm going to restart. All right. 3, 2, 1. Nope. Okay. All right. To everyone who has been waiting so long for our next episode, here you are, the next episode. Episode 6 of the Railjack Ruffians podcast. Today we have a full house, even fuller than normal. Actually, no, about as full as normal. Okay, to my right we have...
Hello, hi, how are you?
Hello, hi, how are you? How are you?
I am good.
Are you the phone
Are
guy?
you good, or are you hello, how are you?
I thought it was hello, hi, how are you?
You need to change your name, man.
It's Stardust, don't tell anybody.
Directly behind me we have...
Me, Mitchell, how are you?
Shh, don't tell them your name.
Oh,
And I'm good. I'm very well. As a matter of fact, I would say I am finer than a frog hair. Which is quite fine.
Never heard that before.
Never heard that before. Very original. I've never said it before. And to my left, we have...
Jacob.
Also, we have confirmed 100% this is the good Jacob, supposedly.
I commented
100% confirmed, supposedly.
on Spotify.
We are
Can't check on
very
Spotify.
sure, like 62% sure.
62%, okay.
Very
That's
sure.
enough for me.
62% of the time, we are very confident.
That's excellent. What do you do in the other percent?
In the other 38%, we are 50% of 12% confident.
Can I have a pillow of any kind?
No, you can't. We're in the void. We don't have physical forms. You can't have a pillow because you don't have...
No, we've been on Earth multiple times.
Well, it does not compute.
He's a robot? What? Maybe he's a bad robot.
It's possible. Although we are on Earth right now, we're actually in the beautiful, wonderfully smelling city of Bacon Level, Alabama. Yes, this is a real place, and we're here right now. How do y'all feel about Bacon Level?
We would have been here sooner if Stardust would take that left turn to Albuquerque if I had told you, but no, Mr. I know where we're going.
Look, I wanted to take a shortcut through Wisconsin.
Weren't we in Kentucky last time? Why did we go through Albuquerque?
No, I think we were in Earth, Texas.
No, I think that was the time before. I think Stardust had us in Kentucky last time.
Well,
remember, he kidnapped us.
yeah.
We were very lost and just happened to end up in Albuquerque.
That's why we've been gone for so long. Man, well then again, you didn't help with directions either.
Yeah,
so
we
I mean,
spent 8 months in Albuquerque,
No,
and then another month coming on the way to Bacon Level. Anyway, yeah, it's been a long time since we recorded. The last episode we recorded was actually like 9 months ago, maybe 10 at this point.
It's been a while.
I feel like almost a year.
It was released in December last year.
What do you mean it was recorded?
I don't know when it was recorded.
It wasn't released in December.
Yeah, we released it very recently, but it was recorded in December.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of big life stuff has happened. Stardust got a new job. Jacob got a gaming laptop. Mitchell got married. And I had a root beer taste test blind, and A&W's the best. And that's what's happened in my life.
And now Mitchell's wife permanently gets to judge us while we make this podcast.
I mean, she's been here from the start.
Not at the very start.
She's not at every episode.
Actually, I mean, you did hear her in the first episode.
Yeah, she hasn't been in every episode, but I think she's been present for every episode. No, there was one where she wasn't.
Also, there's one where Mitchell wasn't present, so...
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's been going on in our lives. Obviously, I've been the busiest of the bunch. But also, a bunch of stuff has happened in Warframe. We've had several major updates come out, as well as TennoCon, which was amazing.
Wait, are it happening again?
No, that happened a couple months ago.
I'd always forget about it.
Yeah. After we recorded our last episode, we had Kome and the Five Fates. That was interesting. It gave us a new game mode on Earth. Also introduced the Warframe Kome. Some people describe her as the gambling frame because her... someone got very excited about that.
Gambling.
Love gambling. Totally recommend bet the house. If you have a house. If you don't, bet the apartment or the tiny home or
Well, the
RV or
house
whatever.
always wins. So
the house, yeah. That way, if you bet the house, you're guaranteed to win.
What if you have a tiny house made of Lincoln logs?
Then you win. If you have a tiny house,
you
then
win
you win tiny.
win.
Yep. You get $5 maybe.
Well, I mean, with tax, I mean, you lose it all, so.
But yeah, she's referred to as the gambling frame because I believe it's her second ability. It gives you a little challenge to do, like kill 12 enemies while wall latching. And then when you complete that ability, you get a random perk from the Duviri Decrees. So you don't know what you're going to get. You can get something very powerful, like crit damage is doubled, or you could get something not so good, like 100 lightning damage every time you roll. We also got new Incarnans. I can't remember what Incarnans came with this update, but we got some new ones. We also got the Melee Galvanized mods, which we had been waiting on for quite some time. Those have been a lot of fun to mess with. We got the Caliban rework. That was a long-awaited rework. He's pretty decent now. Not like top tier, but very good. We also got the very out-of-left-field Nova rework. So some of you might know that before this rework, there were basically two builds you would use for Nova if you wanted to be on the meta side of things. It was either the Speedva or Slova. Slova, you would go for maximum power strength and then maximum range. That would slow down enemies and make defense easier if you were struggling with it, or it was a high level or something like that. Speedva is used when you're not struggling. That went for negative power strength. And because of the way her fourth ability worked, it's supposed to slow down enemies, but if your ability strength is low enough, it would actually speed enemies up and make them go faster, which made defense missions a lot faster because the enemies would come through quicker, you could kill them quicker, and get the mission done quicker. But they changed that, so now instead of having to have different builds for each of those, they just made that ability a toggle where if I can't remember the defaults, but if you hold down the ability, it makes them slow. If you tap it, it makes them fast, or vice versa. You could swap that in the settings. So that was very unexpected, but a very welcome change. They also had the companion ability rework. There's so much stuff to go into there. It's you can't even get into it here, but basically all companions got their own weapons, and you can mod them separately. Also, every weapon can have the Smita Kavat's loot ability, essentially. Bunch of stuff to go in there. I don't have all the details here. A little quality of life. They had auto login for Steam, which is very convenient for people like Stardust, who has a password that's like 30 characters long.
Look, I like my good passwords. It all started when I had an email that I kept getting like warnings saying, "Hey, somebody's trying to get in your account." I'm like, "Fine, I'll write a password that's like 40 characters long, so then I don't have to deal with this anymore."
Yes.
Simple solution.
Okay, yeah. Also, they added when you're doing void missions, or excuse me, void fissures, it shows you what items you have crafted or owned on the relic screen, which is something we had been asking for a very long time. It's just a nice little quality of life thing. After Komi and the Five Fates, they added 1999, the very long-awaited quest, and we're going to be having a full episode on that sometime down the line. Suffice to say, it was very good. Would y'all agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1999 was great. I also figure that Nova probably got a rework because Nova got a Gemini.
True, although that didn't come in Komi or 1999.
Really? Wait, when was the rework?
The rework was in Komi and the Five Fates. The Gemini didn't come until Tekrot Encore.
But they knew the Gemini was coming because they were developing it.
True, that is true. But the other Warframes that were in that didn't get a rework, so...
True, but maybe they thought they were at a spot where they'd be okay.
That's possible, because it was Saren and Frost, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing that got added with 1999 was the new quest. After 1999, they had a bunch of content that they originally planned on adding it with 1999, but there was just so much stuff that they weren't able to get everything ready in time. So they broke it off and made its own update out of it called Tekrot Encore. Tekrot Encore is what added the Infested Liches, also known as the Technocyte Coda. Very cool, lots of cool new weapons. I think my personal favorite would probably be the Coda Motivore, which is essentially a motorcycle tire on a stick, and you swing it around. Apparently, internally in Digital Extremes, they were referring to it as the Pizza Cutter. And it's very cool. It's got a unique trait where it has different buffs based on what physical damage type is highest. So let's see. If impact is highest, you get increased attack speed. If puncture is highest, I believe you get increased range. And then if slash is highest, you get increased status chance. Also, every physical mod is increased by like 6 times, so it does some pretty crazy damage numbers. It's very neat. They also added the Elemental Vice. This is a little device you can put on any adversary weapon where you can actively interchange the element for any element you want forever. So let's say, for example, I've got my Kuvanukor and I've got heat on it, but I actually want radiation. I can install a Elemental Vice and swap its damage type to radiation. And that's not just a one-time thing. You can do that permanently once you've installed Elemental Vice. So let's say I've turned it to radiation, but now I want cold. Well, I don't have to get another Elemental Vice. I can just swap it over to cold, which is very nice. They also added Temporal Archimedia, which is the newest in-game content. Very similar to the... I've forgotten the name of it. Deep Archimedia is the equivalent in the Entrati Labs area. They added... yes. So they made a small update to Exalted Weapons. So previously, you could not install arcanes or certain mods to Exalted Weapons, but they changed it, so now you can use arcanes. But the bigger change is pseudo-exalted weapons. Previously, in order to mod a pseudo-exalted, like Excalibur Slash Dash or Korra's Whip, you had to mod your melee weapon, and those mods were used on the pseudo-exalted. They've done away with that. They've made it much more intuitive by having those pseudo-exalteds now be their own weapons, separately moddable, which is a game changer because you can get some real fun numbers out of that. With the exception of Excalibur, who uses Exalted Blade as his slash dash pseudo-exalted. They also did some star chart rearrangement. They streamlined some things, just kind of shuffled it up a little bit to make it a little more intuitive, and that was pretty nice. They also added a mod quick select button. For those of you who've been playing for a while, you want to go get some Indo real quick. They've made it much easier, where previously you had to go through and individually select each mod and a certain number of duplicates to sell for endo. Now there's a quick select button where you can go say, hey, pick every duplicate and just sell that, which has made things very easy for selling mods. After Tonkront, the Techrot Encore, they had Isle Weaver. Isle Weaver is a new game mode for Duviri, where you actually get to use your Warframes as opposed to being stuck in your Drifter. It's a lot of fun. There's a cool boss fight. I don't want to give away a whole lot, but they added a secondary along with Araxia, the spider frame. We've been waiting for that for forever, but they added a secondary called the Sciotid. It's a kind of a throwing weapon, but it has a secondary fire mode where if you do the alt fire, it launches out this globule of like web fluid that reaches out and groups up to 8 enemies within a certain range. And that is improved with multi-shot, and it's very cool. They also had the very controversial Valkyr rework. This was one that was not highly anticipated by the community because people kind of more in the know kind of realized that Valkyr was actually in a pretty good spot. She had invincibility, she had a lot of melee damage with her Hysteria, and it was kind of surprising to hear about it. Lots of changes were made there. She's no longer invincible, but she has a ton of armor now, and she also gets increased melee damage with kills. Each kill you get increases your melee damage. Once you get up to a certain point, if you take lethal damage, it drains your melee damage instead of killing you. And we'll get more into that later on. They also added more gambling. Yay! Loot boxes were added. But this isn't EA type loot boxes, it's Digital Extremes type loot boxes, in that you can only buy them for credits, which are the in-game earnable currency. They are, with Baro Katir, they're called the Void Surplus, so every week he comes by, you can pay 50,000 credits, which is really not that much, and you can get some really good rewards like Forma or Orkan reactors and catalyst blueprints. There's a lot of good stuff. Resource boosters, resource boosters, and all that good stuff. They also had a Junction rework. Junction Spectres were pretty underwhelming, so they made them a little bit more difficult, and also they made it much clearer how to do the requirements for the Junction, which is another step, and I think they changed some of the requirements as well. They also reworked Captain Vor, the boss fight on Mercury. Now it's like an actual boss fight with attack patterns and stuff like that. Stardust, have you done the new Captain Vor fight?
I have not. I forgot. Was this the only rework they're done, or was there another rework they had done prior? Because I remember people talking about it.
This is the only one they've done recently, but they've said they plan on going and touching up a lot of the old bosses the same way they did.
I need to go do it because that was like a pretty well, it was like the first boss.
Yeah.
And like the lead up to it was very dramatic and cinematic.
Yeah. I also remember you specifically saying that we needed more bosses that have like attack patterns and stages and stuff. And that's exactly what they did with this rework.
I love boss fights that sort of like have not necessarily like a actual puzzle, but there's like a puzzling bit about them. Like you have to learn and understand the boss. It is not just a numbers game.
Yes.
I don't mind there being a little bit of numbers game, but I also like there to be like you have to figure things out. I really like bosses that have like stages of figuring out the patterns, gaining access to a weak point, using the weak point, which then puts you into a new state, and then adapting to the patterns that come after. You can mix in some like numbers games, and when I say numbers game, I mean like, bullet sponge. But I don't want a boss to just be pure bullet sponge, because it's so much more fun to have an engaging, challenging puzzle to solve rather than just, oh boy, I hope my weapons do enough damage.
You like bosses where you have to figure out their pattern. You should play Mega Man. That's the whole thing about it.
I've been thinking about, like, when it goes on sale, like building me an entire Mega Man collection on Steam, because they have most of the games.
They have the Legacy Collection of Mega Man and X.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
prefer X myself.
Some of the X stuff looks cool.
I prefer X the best.
Yeah. I haven't played Mega Man.
Well, I haven't really either. I've only played X.
Haven't got to play Mega Man a whole lot, but I have actually. I did spend like a lot of time like reading up on the lore when I was thinking about
best
getting it.
one is everybody says is 2.
The lore is far deeper than you would think it would be.
Well, yeah. Oh, just wait. I mean, have you read the X lore? It's even crazier.
Yeah, it's.
Alrighty. Yes, the last major thing is changes to melee slam attacks. So there had been a meta for quite some time where you just repeatedly barely jump and then do a slam attack, and it would do tons of damage in a wide area, and it was a very it was you could automate it with a macro with like 2 buttons, and that's not how the game is supposed to be played. And the creators at Digital Extreme said, this is not how we intended our game to be played, and we're going to change it. So, again, a bunch of stuff I could go into detail, but basically they've made the range that a slam attack goes to based on how high you fell from to do your slam attack. So the higher you jump up, the wider the range when you slam back down.
You've played the game raw before, and they changed it for the better.
Yes, but this wasn't really a, oh wow, this is super fun. I spam 2 buttons, jump slam, jump slam, jump slam. It was just kind of an unintended tech that didn't really foster fun. The only reason people did it was because it was meta. It wasn't like Zoran coptering, where we got bullet jumping from. But yeah, so that's the top-down view, very non-granular description of what's happened since we've been gone. Of course, there was also TennoCon, but we'll probably have a whole episode on that. But what is our goal for today? What are we going to be talking about? Well, today we are talking about another one of the original 8 Warframes. Today we are talking about
Volt.
the electric frame. Yeah, so let's start. Yeah.
Electricity, electricity.
They should make a song about that.
There is.
So, let's start off with his abilities. His passive. For every 1 meter traveled on the ground, 10 points of electrical damage are added, accumulating to a maximum of 1,000 bonus damage. This is added to your next attack. Yeah, basically you move around, you gain damage. This one can actually be pretty useful when you're fishing, because you have to use different spears for different fish. But if you just build up your 1,000 damage with Volt, then it pretty much doesn't matter what spear you use as long as it can actually hit the fish that you're trying to get. It is affected by critical hits, so the damage can be increased by that. And it does not affect any abilities subsumed onto him by with the helmet. His first ability is Shock. Volt expends 15 energy to release an arc discharge toward the aiming reticle over infinite range, chaining electricity to enemies within 15 meters of each point of contact. The arc can chain a maximum of 5 times and inflict 200 electric damage with a guaranteed status effect. Let's see, if you cast Shock through an electric shield, it'll electrify it, inflicting 100% of Shock's damage to enemies that pass through it. That was something I didn't know. So if you set up the shield and then zap it with Shock, enemies walking through it will take the damage of Shock. Shock is his helmet ability, so you can give it and its augments to any other Warframe, which is pretty useful for a variety of different things. Most people use it for melee influence, which is the arcane that spreads status effects if you inflict a electric proc. His second ability, this is arguably the one that he is most well known for, Speed. He is speed. Okay. Speed. Volt expends 25 energy. That's a pretty low cost for what this does. Expends 25 energy to energize the surrounding area, increasing mobility of himself and his allies within 25 meters. Affected players will gain 25% reload speed and 75% melee attack speed and movement speed bonuses lasting for 12 seconds. So, you go fast. Volt is very fast. Commonly, if you're having any kind of discussion about the fastest warframes, Volt is going to be there, top 5 at least.
Goss.
Yes, that is the common debate: is it Gauss or Volt? Although recently I've been looking into speedrunning, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. But speedrunners do not use Volt and they do not use Gauss for the most part when they're going fast.
Don't they use Titania?
They use Titania, and it is insane. I would highly recommend looking up the Netracell speedruns on speedrun.com. They can do a Netracell in like 2 minutes using Titania. It depends. Well, we'll get to that later. So, still, Volt speed can be very strong. It can be so strong that it's annoying to use in certain conditions if you're not ready for it. So if you're an ally of Volt and you've gotten his speed and you don't want to have the speed, you can do a backflip and that will get rid of the speed effect.
That's weird.
Not everyone wants to have the speed effect. Like if you're doing a spy mission and you want to be really careful and precise and not trigger the lasers.
Don't bring a Volt.
Well, you can't control what your teammates bring, and they may bring Volt and hit you with speed.
Why you put as your retro friends?
I still wonder, and I've mentioned this before, and I won't go too far on the rabbit trail. I wonder what it would be like with the speed if you had a radius effect of slowed time. So, like, you're moving really fast.
And you're also actually moving really fast.
Yes. But, like, it's slowed so, like, you have more time to control things. And it slows enemies and projectiles within that radius.
Does speed stack at all?
With what?
Like say I bring Volt and you bring Volt and somebody does not Volt.
No, I don't believe that stacks. It can stack with different abilities. For example, Mach Rush, Gauss's ability.
Like he said.
What did he say?
Where somebody slows time, so you move fast, and then you move fast with Volt.
I don't get the question.
What he said.
I was saying if the speed came with a radius of slowed time.
Is there a warframe that does slow time?
No.
So, yeah, that's his second ability. Very straightforward. Third ability, Electric Shield. I did not know there was more than just a shield, because one thing that Warframe is bad about is it does not explain things very well in its explanations. So, Electric Shield. Volt expends 50 energy to create an electrical energy barrier 4.25 meters high and 6 meters wide that blocks enemy fire, lasting 25 seconds. Shots fired through the shield made by Volt and his allies gain 50% electric damage and 100% crit multiplier. A maximum of 6 electric shields can be created at a time.
Is that by one Gauss? One volt or multiple volts?
6 per volt.
Oh, so if you had 4 volts, you could
have 24 shields.
Would there be any benefit?
I believe so. I believe if you go through multiple shields, it picks up the benefits from each one.
Does it ever cap out?
I mean, it caps out at 24 at least.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't
I
that.
feel like that would, like, if you were able to coordinate that, that would be crazy. I figure you'd have to have 3 volts and one person sitting there ready to, like, fire through it as soon as they were done.
Well, they on base, the shields last for 25 seconds, so I don't think it'd be that big of a rush. Yeah. But what was I gonna say? I wonder if projectiles from gun blades get picked up by that.
Yeah.
Because if you
Like the
do, you
Redeemer.
could have 3 volts and a Calervo using Wrathful Advance, and that would be very
That's
powerful.
sort of bad jokes. 3 volts and clever walk into a bar.
Yeah. The Calervo teleports past, and the volts are running too fast, and they run into it. So, the electricity damage you gain from Electric Shield does not combine with other elements to create secondary elements. So, for example, if you have a gun that has heat on it, the heat and the electric do not combine into radiation. They stay separate. You get heat and you get electric, which is very nice for proccing electric. For example, melee influence. I'm a Warframe content creator. I'm contractually obligated to bring everything back to melee influence. Oh, well, right here. Melee attacks do not gain bonuses from passing through the shield.
No, is that good or bad?
What? Bringing up melee influence?
More for me because I'm melee. Everything.
Bad
There's no
for
benefit.
you.
Boo.
Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. Projectile-based melee attacks such as Warfan heavy attacks, Gunblade shots, Siam's Shockwave, Tenet Gendis Energy Disc, and Nefari's Fireballs can benefit from Electric Shield's bonuses.
Oh, sweet. So the shockwave. Because I was wondering, because it's functionally it's a projectile, but do they consider it just some kind of weird extended slash?
Warframe abilities. They do not gain the bonuses by going through the shield, so you can't park a mesa behind it and get extra electric, unfortunately.
So that includes exalted weapons.
Yes.
Let's say, have we confirmed that? Because that feels.
That's
odd.
a good question.
I
don't know.
feel like Mesa's pistols should get damage off it.
We could experiment at some point.
Yeah. Now, if it's like a casted projectile from an ability, I can understand what that one.
Yeah. Anyway, so that brings us to the 4th ability, Discharge. This one is one of the least straightforward abilities that I know of, because it looks like you just send out a pulse of electricity and enemies take damage, but that is not how it works. Volt expends 100 energy to emit a powerful electric pulse over 20 meters. Any enemies that are hit with the initial pulse or that enter the pulse's area within the first 4 seconds of the cast become stunned for 6 seconds and emit arcs of electricity, shocking hostiles who come within 8 meters, inflicting 600 electric damage per half second. So, enemies that are in the range within the first 4 seconds don't take damage. They're instead stunned for 6 seconds, and then if enemies get close to them, those enemies get shocked. It's very confusing. I do not really understand it. I highly recommend looking up the Kingineers video on Volt.
See the one that's for math nerds, or what's the one you?
Yes.
Also, that would explain why some of my early gameplay of Volt felt like that ability really didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, it is very not straightforward, as it should be.
Math's not fun.
Augments. There are, let's see, one augment for his first ability, Shock. This ability is Shock Trooper. Shock Trooper is a Warframe augment mod for Volt that allows Shock to be held on cast, creating a wave of energy traveling outward from the user that temporarily grants the caster and nearby allies additional electricity damage to all attacks. So basically, you imbue your weapons with an extra 100% electrical damage for 40 seconds. This is probably one of the more common augments to use with Volt, especially when you subsume Shock onto other Warframes. It's typically used because of the Shock Trooper augment. Speed has an augment. Shocking Speed is a Warframe augment for Volt's speed that causes him and his allies to inflict electricity damage and status to enemies within close proximity while moving. So basically, if you're in speed, you shock enemies that you get close to. Not the best. Transistor Shield is a Warframe augment mod for Volt's electric shield that allows allies to pick up and move electrical shields. Additionally, a percentage of the enemy damage absorbed by the shields will be added to Volt's static discharge passive. 300% of the damage that's absorbed by the shield goes to that passive damage that you can earn by just walking around.
If Volt had that kinetic armor ability that Gauss had.
Yeah.
Because then he could just, like, it would just build up his energy to then use his attacks.
Well, it doesn't build his energy.
I thought that one generated...
On Gauss's ability.
Yeah, Gauss's ability. That's what I'm saying, if he had Gauss's kinetic armor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because then he would have an ability that would just farm energy for him to use the rest of his abilities.
Yeah.
Also, you might want to mention every single one of these that you're looking at of the augments are fully ranked, so they're better than what you would get in that.
Yeah, every mod you hear anyone talk about is full rank. There's a second augment for Shield, and this is a both PvE and PvP augment, so you can use this in Conclave as well. Not that anyone ever plays Conclave, but if you do, here's this. Recharge Barrier. It's a mod for Electric Shield that restores allies' shields when they pass through the barrier. It is 35% shields restored, which can be nice. But if you're wanting to restore shields with Volt, then there is a much better way to do it, and that is with the next augment, which is called Capacitance. Capacitance is a Warframe augment mod for Volt that converts a percentage of damage done by discharge into shields, which is split between himself and allies. So 3% of all damage that you do gets converted to shields. It's very nice. You can get a lot of shields with that. So there are two ways to get Volt. You can either pick him as your starter frame, or you can research his parts in the dojo. So for that reason, a lot of people will recommend Volt as actually the first Warframe to pick, because getting into a clan, you can do it and it's not super hard, but a lot of people just aren't interested in being part of a clan, which I get it, not everyone wants to do that, but it's not that difficult to get into a clan, but it can sometimes be an annoyance. Alrighty, we are back from the patent pending Mitchell gameplay.
Woo!
So, Mitchell, for the...
Sorry.
I'm very disappointed in you,
I'm
Mitchell.
sorry!
For the gameplay feel, how did you like the style of gameplay that Volt offered?
I enjoyed it. I mean, given a little bit more time to practice with Volt, I feel like it could be something that I'm fairly good at. And I enjoyed the fact that you can... I didn't use it much, but the fact that you can actually put your shield out and then shock your shield was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was something that I didn't even know was a thing until I was researching for this episode. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun was the gameplay for Volt?
The abilities make it higher than it would be if you didn't have them, because I'm thinking on his primary gun does run out of ammo very quickly.
Well, now the weapons are independent of Volt. You can use any weapon.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so based on the abilities.
I'd say a 6.
A 6? All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's something that if I put forth enough time in, I feel like I could pull off some pretty cool combos.
So how powerful did he seem? And this is essentially an unupgraded, nothing on it type.
I mean, the way I am right now, how I was playing him, a 2.
Really?
Yeah. Because again, I feel like it would require me to practice more.
You're a whale.
Gotcha. All right, so let me see here. For gameplay, Jacob, you thought he was going to say 5.
Also, I haven't played Volt in a while, so there's also that.
Yeah, he hasn't played it in a while. Stardust, you thought he was going to say it's a 9, and I thought he was going to say it's a 6, and it was a 6. So that's a... wait, no. Oh, yes, yeah. I did say it was a 6.
Didn't we also do our ratings on it?
We did, and I'll go over that in a second. For gameplay strength, Jacob, you thought he was going to say 9. Stardust, you thought he was going to say 7. I thought he was going to say 8. So that would make Stardust our winner for that. And for fashion, Jacob, you thought he was going to say 1. Stardust, you thought he was going to say 5. And I thought he was going to say 6. Mitchell, you gave a 4, which makes Stardust the winner of the second contest and the winner overall for the predictions. Let's give a
Good job!
2 hands clapping together.
5.5.
Yeah, so Stardust, what are your general thoughts on Volt?
I like Volt. When I first tried Volt, I didn't like him. When I got Volt Prime, I did like him a lot, and I know Volt is very capable. However, Volt is very, I don't want to say niche, but let's say requires some finesse. You've got to do the mods right to have the durability, and then you've got to play him right, because bottom line, he's not a tank. You can't play him like a tank or anything.
Isn't that with every Warframe you have to mod them right though?
Yes, but it's more so like Rhino can just take abuse. Rhino can just take tons of abuse.
Yes, but his weaknesses you have to mod them good.
Yeah, but there's some Warframes are really like, you really don't have to worry about it. With Volt, you've always got to be thinking about how much damage you've taken.
Example as like
Rhino.
that you don't have to mod.
You can go in with base Rhino for a good while and be okay.
I've done an hour-long survival on Steel Path with Octavia with no mods.
Yeah.
Any reason?
Just to prove that I could, because Octavia is that powerful.
Volt is a bit weaker when it comes to HP and armor. I don't know the numbers, but I do know I have to be really careful when I'm playing Volt. Meanwhile, like if I'm playing Excalibur,
You use him more for speed though.
yeah, but if I'm playing like Gauss, Excalibur, or even like Ember or Mesa, I don't have to be as careful about my health and armor, but Volt, I have to be very careful. But I do know if I build a good build with mods that Volt can really excel.
True. Jacob, what are your thoughts on Volt?
I haven't played in a long time, so I'm not sure I like him, but I have not used him.
Wait, hold on.
You're not sure you like him?
Yeah, I was going to clarify. Are you saying that you're not sure you like him, or I'm not sure I like him?
I like him, I'm just not sure.
Okay.
Because I haven't played him in a long time.
Well, you haven't played any Warframe in a long time.
Well,
so.
yeah, but it's just because I've been doing other stuff.
True. I have been farming some Tau-Forged Violet Archon shards for my Kalervo, and it has been a bit of a slog. My thoughts on Volt. Volt is a lot of fun. My thing with Volt, my use for Volt is I just go as heavy into the speed as possible. I know his shields are strong. They are in-game viable. As a matter of fact, they are preferred when fighting the Eidolons. They're very useful for that. But I just use them for the speed. The speed is so much fun. I'm typically, if I'm going for just pure speed, I'm not in content that's difficult enough that I need to worry about the survivability or the DPS, and going all out on speed is not a problem. That being said, using especially the capacitance augment mod, you can make him very survivable. And there's other subzooms and stuff that you can do to make him more survivable as well. But talking about speed and Warframe and running, I have been doing a little bit of Warframe speedrunning because apparently that's a thing. As of right now, which is the 23rd of September 2025, I hold 4 world record speedruns. I hold the speedrun for doing mastery rank tests 1 through 10, test 11 through 20, and 20 through 30, as well as 1 through 30. So a clean sweep of mastery rank test runs. I have
Most
the
people
world
don't do
record
them,
for.
so try to beat him.
You can certainly try. There's no chance anyone can improve upon any of my runs, especially the one where I literally got up and went to the bathroom during the run.
Huh.
Cut this, but do you want to plug your YouTube
I'm gonna
channel?
cut what I'm gonna cut.
I know, but do you want to plug the videos?
If they go to speedrun.com, they'll see them.
Oh, okay.
That's how they're posted.
Yeah.
So, you should go out. I'm talking to you, the audience. You should go out
Sorry.
and just
And touch grass.
cut that.
Don't cut that.
So, you, the audience, you need to go out and do a speed run. It doesn't matter if you are the worst there or the best there. Do a speed run. Help out the community. Add some competition.
Do a game nobody does, and you'll get a world record immediately.
That's what I did. 2 of those speed runs that I got had no competition, which is why I'm the de facto world champ.
Isn't the only one that actually had a competition was 1 through 30?
There were 2, 1 through 10 had competition, and then 21 through 30 had competition. No one had done the 11 through 20, and no one had done the 1 through 30.
So technically speaking, you do hold 3 world records.
4.
4? Okay.
Yep. But yeah, go out and do it. It's fun. It's something to change things up.
Do they count speedruns in Guinness World Record Gamer Edition?
I don't know.
Because if they do, you could be there.
I could. Yeah. That's all the notes I had for this episode. Yeah, any closing thoughts, Jacob?
Thought we'd start the other way around, but okay.
Gotta be on your feet. Gotta make sure you're actually thinking about this.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Mitchell, you got any thoughts? Any closing thoughts? Not necessarily about Volt specifically, but just anything.
All I got is this is enjoyable. I wasn't here for most of this episode. Hopefully I'll be able to interact a little bit more on the next ones to come. And yeah, I'm excited to see what frames pique my interest and hear what updates and changes they make to pretty much everything.
Coolio. Stardust.
I enjoyed discussing Volt. He's a really fun Warframe, and I look forward to, of course, like the more Warframes we're going to discuss in the future. But I'm also, and I'm not like spoiling, but I'm looking forward to when we eventually talk about that upcoming update and that trailer,
Yes.
because there was some crazy stuff.
All I'm gonna say is big sword.
Yeah, big sword.
So I think that's gonna wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for not abandoning us.
Oh, do you also want to mention that we brought stuff on Square back pretty much?
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Well, I mean, you said they came back because people joined the Discord, and we mentioned them a lot.
Yeah,
We have competition now.
We don't have that many viewers. We don't
the
have
statements made by the host of this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of the entire podcast.
Well, yes, but we do have competition now.
Just a disclaimer.
We do have competition.
My lawyer made me say that.
What lawyer? I thought you were your own lawyer.
You know, Jonathan, the lawyer.
He went to dinner with us?
When?
3 days ago. You were there.
No, I was not.
Yes, you
And
were.
what about that Six Flags trip?
Yeah.
We don't have to talk after this.
Six Flags over Texas. Gotta specify.
We don't have to talk after this.
Yeah. I think that means you may be about to get sued. So, watch out for that. But that's gonna be tune in next time to hear Stardust say...
Oh. I don't think I want to hear that again.
Tune in next time to hear Stardust not say...
Okay, I won't say that. Bookshelf.
I'll have to hold you to that. Tune in next time to hear Mitchell say...
Yay! Bookshelf.
He won't be happy about the bookshelves next time, apparently. Or, no, wait, he will not be happy.
I will not.
Yes. Who's Will?
My future son.
He's the owner of the bookshelf store.
Yes. Tune in next time to hear Jacob say...
E.
Tune in next time to hear me say, hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Markiplier. That's not what he does. What is it?
Hello, everybody. It's Markiplier.
I think he says,
Markiplier,
hello,
tell you,
hello
my name is
everybody, my name's
Markiplier."
Markiplier.
No, it's hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. Today we're playing.
You should have done Jacksepticeye, his is easier.
He did.
Oh, he did? I missed that.
I said, top of the morning to you, my name is Markiplier. Welcome to the PewDiePie.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Cut.
Or don't. I'm going to keep it rolling. I'm
Yeah,
going to
just
keep it rolling. We're still live. We're doing it
This
live.
is turning into the VeggieTales commentary. That's what this is turning into.
How do you know? You ain't watched it.
I've seen pieces.
Pieces, not. That doesn't count.
Now I want Reese's Pieces. And now we're going to cut.